Hey, did you know that when you clean a vacuum?
I've heard this joke before.
That's why I made it different by making my voice.
Okay, hi. Good to see you, everybody.
You're in focus.
You are the end of the K-Man morning show.
Hey.
Man,
It's a little radio joke right there.
That's I'm sorry, but I don't like David Mahoney.
No.
It's just not funny.
It's
And it's not local. So
Yeah.
that was the nice thing. But I know we're not going to spend like the whole fucking show just dogging on.
Oh, I could.
I could.
Oh, I know we
too.
could.
And it's not even, I've never even heard them. It's just that when they made the announcement on the station page, I was trolling the comments looking for my name. And it wasn't there.
Somebody go get. Well, of course, like yeah,
I mean, it's only been, what, 6-7 years?
fucking forever, dude.
Whatever. I mean, people shouldn't forget that easily.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, just remember, people still go Dan and Dave when they see me. So
Fair enough. I'll take that.
I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah.
I mean, and fair enough. Like when I see people like that we went to high school with, I still get David Dusty.
yeah.
Like, no, haven't seen that fucker in years.
Where the fuck he's at?
Last I heard, he was living under a bridge.
Wait, Dusty?
The
The old Dusty.
It's a nice bridge, okay? Yeah. I mean, I don't really invite anybody over because it's a bit drafty.
I would.
No, I just mean we got to address the big elephant in the room.
Where?
It's it's behind your head.
Oh. Is it in the room with us right now?
It is in the room with us. Well, some of it is, but a lot of it isn't.
Yeah, okay.
So
just go ahead.
For those in the audio medium who are not watching on YouTube, Dusty has got a slick fucking hairdo.
He does. It looks great.
Dude, it looks awesome.
It looks great.
I appreciate that.
You trim the beard up too?
Yeah, I just kind of like I was telling you guys earlier, I'm finally starting to actually give a shit again.
Yeah.
So it's been long enough to where I was just like, fuck it, I don't care, whatever. So now it's like, I kind of do care. So, let's clean it up a little bit. Let's
looks great.
Let's start looking good for people.
I wish I could get half that boost from giving a shit.
Dude, the funny thing is when the girl was cutting my hair, she was like, as soon as she started, she was like, this is the kind of shit that hairdressers dream of. She's like, this is the most satisfying thing ever. She's like, literally from the beginning of my career to now, and she wasn't like super old or anything, but she had been in the game a couple of years. She was like, every time I get to cut this much hair off, it's just so fucking satisfying. Nice. It's like, yeah, all right, here we go.
Man, dude, hairdressers are weird people. Shout out to Danielle.
Who was going to do it for me, but unfortunately, she's crazy booked up because she's damn good at what she does.
She is.
And she's going out of town next weekend, so she didn't have time to do it then. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get it out of the way. And then when she comes back, we're going to fucking hang out because I haven't seen her in too goddamn long. So, and I know she's listening because she makes this. She's a regular listener.
The thing is, though, you can't hang out with her like too close to when you got a haircut because she's just gonna stare at your head the whole time. She's gonna be like,
She's like, you look so fucking stupid. No, I'm kidding. No.
Grab the top of your head and side, just look at the different parts. Like, yeah, I don't like what I see there.
But head, all of a sudden, there you go.
It's like the guy from Chucky 3 where he like grabs his hair and he's like, what is this? My office.
Like, yeah, this line here, they got below the neckline.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah. Always judging.
How was everybody doing? We did not start the timer, so I have no idea how long we've been going.
Hey, that's good.
I like to have a general idea.
Yeah, well,
just so I can be like, all right, let's wrap it up. David, shut up.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's always Dan that's telling these super long-winded stories,
that's right,
and just won't shut the fuck up.
Wait,
I'm kidding because it's literally the opposite.
It is true. We're like begging, like, come on, go over.
No, I just mean that it's you.
Oh,
Shut up.
fuck.
Okay, Dan.
Hey, it's been 4 minutes and 47 seconds.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So we're good. We're good. Everybody's fine. This
Yeah.
is fine.
and in the edit, we got to keep it that way too.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that sequence from Alien when she's escaping the ship, and it's like T-minus 5 minutes. If you time it up, it's the same time.
Yeah, it does match up. Yeah, one of the few movies that it does, because sometimes it'll stay on the number 7 for like 30 fucking
For
seconds.
sure. You're like, oh, come on.
You should have been dead 8 minutes ago.
Like MacGruber, when it'll be 3 seconds and then they do like a whole skit.
Dude, such an underrated fucking movie.
Man.
Dude, I love that movie. I thought it was great. Will Forte in general
He's
is just, I think, a little underrated. But
He's awesome.
Why is the only thing I remember from that movie celery?
I'm trying to remember
What,
the celery.
what,
That's
wait,
like,
what did he have sticking out of his ass?
Oh wait,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
was it celery? I
Yeah.
thought for some reason I thought it was a carrot.
I don't know, some sort of a stocky vegetable.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. MacGruber's awesome.
It
You
is
should
a
watch it.
great. That when that van blows up, that shit is awesome.
So, how's everybody doing today?
Like a G.
I got to use my radio voice for this. Hold on. Hey, everybody, how we doing today? No, that's like a bad morning DJ. That's like, no, I said a bad
You're in
morning
good
one.
company.
Well,
Hey,
Jesse,
everybody,
I'm
how's
glad-
it going?
Glad you asked, because I want a brand new car.
Hey, how's it going out there in MHK land?
Right, righty.
Although I didn't
Ronnie.
want to pay the sales tax, so that's killer, so I sold it.
Yeah.
Okay, but seriously, how's everybody doing? Everybody like fine or what? What the fuck is that?
I was just gonna bring that
Wait,
up.
what are you
It's,
drinking?
It's a home brew.
Oh,
It's an orange soda. It's nothing special.
God,
but,
it's kind of.
To say that an orange soda isn't special, Dan, you're doing the orange soda disservice.
Okay, and you know what? It's a 0-calorie orange soda.
Nice.
So go fuck
It's
yourself.
just kind of aggressive, dude. It's
It
a
is.
little aggressive.
I've noticed that when I use the powdered drink mixes to make stuff, and like the colors are so vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I do a green one, and it looks like the ooze. When I put it in the bottle. It's great.
That looks like what Slice wants to look like. Yeah, that shit is the
Like,
real
this
deal.
is a dimly lit room, and this orange is still
Poppin'.
pretty
Oh,
popping.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I couldn't tell if that was the bottom of the bottle was part of the bottle or the drink was like separated somehow.
Oh yeah.
That would be kind of cool. I don't know.
Yes, it's a U.S.
Like, yeah, I got
mix
mayonnaise
it.
at the bottom, so it's sunk.
I didn't mix this good at all. So
It's just a little container you clip onto the bottom. And you keep mayonnaise or M&Ms, whatever you want. 6 packs of
6 second soda.
Oh, nice callback to a previous episode that you can download now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and watch on YouTube. Anyway,
Ooh.
how's everybody doing? Dan, how are you?
It's going to be a busy week with vet appointments every single day.
Damn.
We got a doggo who's got she's got some hips that are a little old and creaky and stiff, so we're getting some laser therapy done. And
Laser therapy?
yeah, like I guess they shine like a super intense laser like right over your skin or whatever, and apparently it's supposed to reduce inflammation and all this other stuff. I have no idea if it works. We'll see.
Is it like a
Goddamn
light
laser.
that like you swallow that goes like internally inside the
yeah,
body?
Yeah.
like a cleanse?
I mean, you gotta
Laser cleanse.
yeah. I don't know how the fuck it works, but I know that they made her wear goggles because they sent us a picture of it, and it was like the cutest fucking
Aw.
thing.
that sounds adorable.
Yeah, it was.
They're like a laser cleanse. Like you'll either die or it'll be really great.
Yeah.
Your whole life will be changed.
Have you guys seen Prometheus?
Oh yeah.
Okay, when you say laser cleanse, I just imagine that ball thing that he throws up in the air, and then it goes through and just shoots lasers all over the place.
Yeah.
Like it just all the way through, and then pops out your butt, and you're good.
And dogs love it because it's a ball and it just goes everywhere.
Yeah.
They're like, how do you think we get them to swallow it, dude?
But no,
It's
we're
fucked.
doing that. Then I had to go to the vet too for myself because I've been getting. I don't know what my deal is, guys, and maybe I shouldn't mention this because it's like supposed to be fun or
Who
whatever.
mentioned it?
But I've been getting fucking dizzy lately at really weird times. So I
Whoa.
think we're going to adjust the old blood pressure medication a little
Okay.
bit. And, yeah.
Is it
Go
when you
from
like
there.
lay down?
No, it's like when I turn my head quickly.
Ooh.
Or-
Well, don't do it. Only when I do this.
or when I bend down to pet the kitties.
Oh,
You know?
hell no.
that's
I stand back up and I'm like, ooh.
We can have that fucked up.
Well, I mean, your solution, just don't ever get back up from petting the kitties.
This is true.
They'll
And
they'll
I
appreciate
I
that.
briefly liked it because it kind of reminded me of being like a little buzzed.
Ooh,
But,
yeah.
Like when you smoke when you smoked like your first cigarette
Yes.
really fast, and
Yes.
it's like, ooh, hold on a second.
Hell yeah, that's what it felt like.
And then I'm like, let's do that again.
That
No.
first ever cigarette
Oh,
buzz is the strongest.
Dude, I was
fucking-
giggling.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Like
It's the real deal.
Yeah, you're chasing the dragon after that.
Never finding it.
He never again.
So I mean, are we thinking like vertigo or just like blood pressure type shit or what?
I think it's just my blood pressure's a little
Okay.
low, and I didn't realize it because I monitor it at home, but my cuff is, I guess, a piece of shit because it was like 30 points high.
Oh shit!
God damn.
Whoops.
Yeah.
So I got a new one of those.
Okay.
So
yeah.
that's how I'm doing.
Okay. I mean, hanging in there.
Yeah.
You're still here
I'm
with
still
us.
here, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, day
I ain't
above
going nowhere,
ground.
bitch.
Fucking power through, but yeah, we could check on you every once in a while. Dan?
Oh, okay, yeah.
As my boss says, is you woke up this morning, so that a day above ground's a good day.
You woke up this morning, so get to fucking work.
Woke up this morning, got yourself a gun. So
Your mama always said you'd be the chosen one. I don't want to get in trouble again
No,
because
don't.
we got a little copyright
yeah,
ping
yeah.
on that one.
we did?
Well, I mean, if we ever decide to monetize it, we won't be able to monetize that one.
Oh.
But because we played too much of the song through my phone,
Dude, YouTube,
like shitty speaker, like,
they
but
are
whatever.
brutal, man. So I took the sound once from when Mankind got thrown off the top of the Hell in the Cell.
Yes.
I took
He's broken in half.
I took that sound, like literally just the like crash, and then like the JR reaction right after, and it was like I put it over a video of somebody wiping the fuck out on a water slide, and it was funny. I thought it was funny, so I posted on YouTube, and then I 2 minutes later, like, this is copyright, you can't have it. And I was
Oh
like,
my
what the fuck?
God.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
How does
Fuck
YouTube know
that,
like
YouTube.
6 seconds from 1998 King of the Ring? How do they know that?
I mean, it is pretty specific. When he's like, "As God is my witness,
Yeah.
he's broken in half."
Probably not the first person to try to get away with that one.
That's fucked up, though.
It's probably JR himself. He's sitting at his computer like, "Oh hell no!"
He's got he definitely has an alert. Anytime anything with him in it, he's like, okay, let me check this out. Oh hell no! Oh, I'm a convinced. God damn! Fuck that, dude.
We're gonna have a slobber knocker.
I just pictured him like Googling himself late at night, and I don't know if that's a picture I want.
No, you don't want to see that. No, he's an older gentleman, so
I tried it once and I found a dirt track racer that has the same name as me
Nice.
apparently, and that's literally it.
the best is putting your name and then going in images and see the weird people with your name. It's so
Right?
funny.
It's like I don't look like any of these fuckers.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah, do you have a good Dave Garcia? Well, are we
Yeah.
saying last names on this
Yeah,
shit?
fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Dude, they're in the credits for the show. So
I
yeah.
started a Facebook page for David Garcia's.
Okay, well then,
And
that's
I
public.
invited a ton of David Garcia's, and only 2 of them accepted.
Motherfucker.
But they were really cool. They were like, "Oh, this is awesome." And then they kind of did away with groups. You remember, you
Yeah.
could create
Yeah.
a group real easy, and now it's fucking gone. So
You gotta have like an admin.
you gotta
and
do
a
shit.
general manager and fucking copyright
I
editor.
know
And
one next to shift manager and a fucking cashier.
I mean, and Meta's trying to get rid of people and replace them with AI, but they still need that. Come on, that's not fair. But I googled my name once though, and it's your brother actually comes into play here because I did not know who this gentleman was until Ian tagged me in some shit on Facebook once. Speaking of Facebook, and it was like a picture of somebody's phone screen. It said Dan Smith is calling.
Whoa!
And he was like decline. So, but the picture was this guy Dan Smith who lives in New York City, and he's a guitar teacher. He kind of looks like a young Bob Saget a little bit,
Whoa!
and I guess he's just kind of notorious because he puts his fucking face up on any surface that you can put something up, tack up a flyer on. He's all over the fucking place.
Wow!
And it just says Dan Smith will teach you guitar.
Damn, Danny
Well,
Tanner.
I mean, it felt apt, but
Yeah.
no.
when it's just sad that we never got to really see what an old Bob Saget looked like.
That was too soon. You know.
Hey, let me tell you a joke. The Aristocrats.
Dude, when Dwight Schrute tries to tell the Aristocrats joke, he's like, he
Yeah.
said something really, really disgusting. When in actuality, the joke can get horrible.
That's the whole
Horrible.
point to the joke is how terrible can you make it?
Oh God.
Dude, there's a whole documentary on just that joke.
Yeah.
Really?
What do you-
Yeah, it's awesome. It's
got a
and it's
bunch
got
of
a
comedians.
Bob Saget's in it. But I mean a bunch of big name stand up comedians like tell their own versions of it and like where they heard it, and it's like a whole thing, I guess.
It's like really, really dirty. Like, okay, what do you call this act? Like the Aristocrats.
I don't even know
That's
what
like
that
the joke.
is. Jeez.
Like you should watch it sometime. It's actually
good.
pretty interesting.
Well, I will
good.
Google that tonight instead of myself.
And yeah, well, I mean, you can do both.
Yeah.
It only takes like 30 seconds.
With the power of technology.
Dave, how you doing this week, dude?
It's still early enough where I can't call it. But
Okay.
I feel like I'm doing great. I feel like I'm really pumping in the numbers, and I'm really starting to see synergy coexist within the realm of what I'm doing and what I'm trying to accomplish.
And what quadrant might that be in?
The fourth quadrant. It does not exist in this quadrant.
So, I mean, like when you say that, buzzword, business,
Yeah.
business, numbers.
Yes.
Is this working?
Synergy.
Yeah. No. I did this.
I did.
Gotta do this.
What we should do is think outside the box.
Oh God. Yeah, it's good, man. Like it's heating up out there. Like I don't think spring's like gonna spring.
Honestly, we don't really get a spring
No.
anymore.
It
And-
rains for like 6 days, and then that's like that's spring.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It's fucking weird.
Thanks, Obama. I mean,
I don't fucking like April anyway. The Royals are playing really good baseball right now.
they are doing
so
pretty
that's
good. They are doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Batcats looking good. They took down West Virginia this past weekend, and
Nice.
West Virginia is the number one team in the Big 12. So the Batcats might have punched their ticket into the College World Series.
Nice.
So
Holy shit.
definitely keeping track of that one.
Now, is that in Omaha every year?
So
Or
like
something.
it
I
is
think-
in Omaha every season. But they're like to get to Omaha you have to win like 6,000 to 7,000 games.
I say they have like regional tournaments.
Dude, they
and
have
shit.
regional,
Yeah.
super regionals, extra super regional. Like it is dark chocolate regional.
It's like if you don't get into the College World Series, it's like, come on.
I
man.
know. And then when you do, it's like, yay! Like how far? Oh,
1.5 rounds.
we got a long.
There's a little asterisk on the last S of series.
It's like the World Series happens, the College World Series, and then it's like, okay, time for football. And no one even fucking cares. They're like, oh, okay, cool.
I mean,
So-
good for them.
Yeah, they're
That's
good.
awesome.
They're good.
And I mean, considering that, like you said, West Virginia is the number one team in the Big 12, and considering there's like 38 teams in the Big 12
Fuck
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's good.
Pretty
Yeah.
good for the old
That feels good.
gatos. Yeah.
So, what is it, 16 now?
Yeah.
Which, it's like, just fucking change the name. I'm sorry. I know you need to change the logo and shit, but it's dumb calling a conference the Big 12 that has 16 teams. It's dumb calling a conference the Big 10 when it has fucking
They have,
16,
like, 16
teams. Yeah.
I just think the big anything is weird anymore. It's
Yeah.
like, can we just come up with a better name?
Can we just do like the 6-16?
Ooh.
These teams are fucking sick, man.
Whoa, the 616. Oh, my God.
I mean,
Dan,
I will
write
be
that
awaiting
down.
my copyright. YouTube, thank you.
Yeah, YouTube, you fuckhead.
It is 16.
Ooh, have like a devil.
That's kind of like a tongue twister, though. Like, I have trouble saying that.
Six,
So.
six,
Yeah.
16.
6-6-16.
Actually, I don't even like saying 6-16.
See, I messed up.
The slacking 16.
It's like the rural juror.
Oh. What are
Can't
you,
have that.
What are you saying?
Rural juror.
Roger.
Roger.
You know, like when I was in Roger.
Dude, what about you with your fucking fancy
Yeah.
haircut and your shirt and your glasses and your fucking hat?
I mean, my hat.
I threw that in there.
It's like, and your peace pipe. And you're like,
yeah,
okay,
and
sure.
your cassette player.
Dude, I wish I had one of those. That'd be
no
awesome.
Shit.
I mean, honestly, there were two factors. One was that it is starting to get hot.
Oh, yeah.
And long hair on the back of your neck in the summer is just not fun.
It's getting hot.
And putting my hair up
getting
in a fucking
sweaty.
ponytail every single fucking day was just not really, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So that, and then just kind of needed a change, just change it up. Like I said, I'm starting to kind of give a shit again. So, I mean, it's kind of nice, but yeah, other than that, we're still waiting to hear what team Logan's going to be on. But he's super fucking excited. They've only got I think 2 weeks left of school, something like that. It's fucking like maybe not even 2 weeks.
This dude is about to burst, man.
So yeah, baseball's going to be starting soon, so we're going to be doing that. That's pretty much all I've got going on.
I
right now.
like it, dude.
Does getting the haircut, to come back to that, does it feel like the first time you rearrange your room as a child?
Dude, yeah, kind of. Like, okay, because I didn't really do anything today. I should have, because I had the day off. But, like, I went and, like, got some food and shit like that. But for the most part, I was just kind of hanging out at my house, doing some laundry and stuff. But, like, I kind of wanted to go out and, like, find people that I knew and have them be like, whoa.
Hey, dude.
Yeah, kind of like how you did, like, when you first walked up. Yeah, I didn't really do anything. I will say this, though, because I was talking to Ian earlier. And I told him it was like it's like if you swing a whole lot with a donut on your bat, and then all of a sudden you take the donut off, and your first swing, it's just like, whoa, this is so much lighter than it used to be. So it's like I told him I was like turning my head and be like, ah.
God damn, you're going to have dizzy spells now. Oh, shit.
But yeah, that's pretty much the two main reasons right there. Switch it up a little bit, and it's fucking hot.
It is hot.
Yeah.
And
Plus,
sweaty.
you are going to spend less money on shampoo now. So
that is true. Because, dude, you don't even think about this. Because have either of you ever had like longer hair? I don't recall any of you.
I tried
having.
to.
You
once
don't
in high
recall
school.
when I had long hair?
I know you've had kind of like little mini fros a little bit, but because your hair's super curly, so it's just kind of blah blah blah.
I had super long hair during COVID.
Yeah, you got the
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yes, you
Yeah,
did. What the
I
fuck am I
really-
talking
I
about?
remember
Yeah.
because I photoshopped the side of your face.
You did,
So, yeah.
Okay.
which was really amazing, by the way. That was the best.
I'm gonna have to find a picture and put it up on the YouTube
Yeah,
video so that
that's
people
right.
can see what
I
we're
had-
talking. But yes, you're right. I'm
It
an
got
idiot.
real
Yeah.
long, and like I said, my thing was just I couldn't just get out of bed and go somewhere. And that's because if I did, people would be like,
Don't talk to me.
"Hey, how you doing?" And they're like, "Oh my God."
You go to a bank and they're like, "All right,
No,
don't get me in trouble."
It's Casey Wolf. Oh God.
But like my thing was like my hair got so long that like washing it took effort. Like it took a while.
Yeah.
And a pretty decent amount of shampoo too. I mean, I wasn't like or anything like that. But at the same time, like I'd get a little bit and be like, "Oh fuck, okay, that's not enough. All right, a little bit more. All right, well, I got to get all the way in the back." And so yeah, it's gonna be easier. Oh, also, I had maintenance finally came to my fucking place, which I had reported a couple of things that were broken a long fucking time ago. But then we switched management companies and got lost in the cracks, all this bullshit. But they finally came and fixed a bunch of shit, including I can actually like properly drain my bathtub now.
Ooh.
So like Logan can take a bath and he's super excited about that.
Nice.
So it's like today was productive in a way, even though I didn't really do all that much. I still actually got a lot accomplished. So
You're freaking feeling yourself right now.
and now we're here.
Yeah.
And here is a good place to be.
Oh my God.
Whether you're in the room with us or watching out there.
You better fucking believe it, dude. Is this gonna be? Is this a heat check for you? Because you're feeling really good. You know what a heat check is?
No, please
Okay.
enlighten me.
So in basketball, like when a guy will hit like his first 3 shots, and he's like, "Oh boy, wait a second."
He's on fire.
Yeah.
He's
So
on fire.
you shoot a heat check shot, or you shoot like something fucking crazy, and if it goes in, then you go, "Oh," and everybody goes, "Oh." And so I think this might be.
So
a
you
heat
think
check.
I'm reaching?
Yeah, I don't think you're reaching. I think you're like, I'm gonna take a shot here
I am going to take a shot.
because you're gonna be on fire if it happens. You're on fire.
Well, tonight, gentlemen, I want to tell you a tale.
Oh,
A tale of woe.
Like, whoa, like that's awesome, or whoa, sad? Okay.
Well, okay. Whoa.
Like whoa.
Woe as in begins awesome, turns out sad.
Oh,
Okay.
I want to talk about just a true downfall story. Just a huge rise and a huge drop.
Ooh, I think I know where this is going.
Today, gentlemen, I want to talk about the rise and fall of MTV.
Oh man, that is a big rise and fall right there.
From cultural icon to outdated joke.
For sure.
I was going to guess the Detonator at World of Fun, but
What did you think I was going to say? 'Cause-
Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, yeah, that one was
it
bad.
a hard fall.
That one was bad. Dude, I was talking, okay, real quick, before we get into MTV, I was talking to my boss about this the other day. Like, some of my favorite wrestlers from back when I was a kid, terrible human beings. And it makes me sad to know, like Hulk Hogan, like Ultimate Warrior. I mean, like all of these big, awesome superstars that I was huge fans of. Turns out they were kind of pieces of shit.
Yeah, dude, especially Hulkster, man.
Yeah.
He just, wow.
I mean, Jim Hellwig didn't have the best views on what he called the gays.
Dude, like, after he
It's
left.
like, Jesus Christ,
After
dude.
he could have said
left-
something worse.
When he went to that college and
Yeah.
was like gonna debate,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
got fucking destroyed, it was like, just sit down and shut up. I hate when people think because they're so good at one thing that they're gonna be great at like everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're like,
Yeah.
we're just really great at working out.
They
You
need
know?
an
Like, just stop, dude.
And perming your hair.
Yeah.
they need an intellectual heat check.
Ooh, and he fucking got one. He fired one from half court, and somebody blocked it. Like, his coach ran out on the court and blocked it. He was like, don't fucking do
No, it
that.
was Dikembe Mutombo.
No.
So I want to take you back to August
R.I.P.
1st, R.I.P. August 1st, 1981. Music television at 12:01 a.m. launches on a few select New Jersey stations. It's cable TV. It's back when cable TV wasn't really a thing. So it was a luxury to have cable TV. So not a whole lot of people were watching. Do you guys know what the very first image was on MTV?
Was it the Moon Man?
It kind of has in line with the Moon Man, but no, not quite.
Okay, I don't know.
Frick.
It was the rocket ship taking off.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, nice.
So yeah, it was the ship taking off at like 12:01, and then do you know what the first video they played after that was?
Video killed the radio star.
Yes, by the Buggles.
Man.
Which pretty ironic.
For
I mean,
sure.
if you think about it, because
Yeah.
it really did. Dude.
It did, but they made that song and video before it really did. you know, which is kind of
exactly.
odd.
They were ahead of their time.
They
a little
were
bit, yeah.
the Buckles.
the Buggles.
I wonder what the last video was. Was it like YouTube influencer killed the video star?
Yeah, it was an episode of Beavis and Butthead where they were watching a reaction video.
Yeah.
So it obviously revolutionized the music industry, but at the time, nobody knew what a music video was. There was no such thing as a music video. So they only had a handful of actual videos. So the segments in between they had to fill them up with something, and they didn't have any original programming or anything. So that's where our video jockeys came into play, or VJs.
Nice.
So the VJs would talk for a while, like at the end of a song, leading into another song. Then when that song got over, they would, end of that song, he would talk for a long time, and then leading into the next song. So it was kind of boring and very niche.
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
not a lot of people watching at first, but music industry started to see what the appeal was of this, especially as soon as they started expanding beyond like the New Jersey market, and that influenced them willing to pay money to make these music videos. Because, I mean, MTV wasn't paying for the fucking videos. They were paying for the right to show them a little bit, and that's really about it. So the fact that all these music labels got on board with it completely changed the way that we as kids, at the time, we saw and were introduced to music. Like, we weren't hearing bops on the radio and shit. We were seeing it right in front of our face.
Yeah.
And so that all of a sudden you start seeing like really big budget music videos start coming out because they want to put a lot of money behind this star. Case in point, Michael Jackson.
Ooh-wee.
Thriller.
Oh
dude.
yeah, that's right.
Fucking
Dude,
goes hard.
That's
man.
a fucking movie.
That was like an event. That's like
Yeah.
you were doing chores or whatever, and you stop.
Yeah. Dude, like the uncut version of
Yeah.
it, I'm not even kidding. It's like almost a half an hour long.
Yeah, this shit's bad.
It's ridiculous.
It's awesome.
But yes, absolutely. Directed by John Landis, who friend of the show. No, I'm kidding.
Hey. Who have we buried more, John Landis or Popeyes?
I mean, we hadn't mentioned Popeyes yet this episode.
We haven't, yeah.
Give it some time.
It's a delicate balance.
Have you ever eaten one of their biscuits just really fast?
While watching a John Landis movie, fucking sucks.
So, like I said, and then other ones like Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer is another one that comes to mind.
Sledgehammer.
I love, and that was actually done by the guy who eventually did Wallace and Gromit.
Whoa.
Which I fucking love Wallace and Gromit. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, he was the one who, or he wasn't the only one, but him and a bunch of other people worked on that video, and then they kind of went off and did their own studio, which ended up making Wallace and Gromit and a bunch of other cool shit too.
Damn.
So that's when the real shift started to happen, was when like labels in particular started throwing a lot of money at this kind of shit because it was amazing advertising. Because, I mean, again, at the time, especially towards the beginning, there really wasn't that many videos. So if you got a video out, it was gonna fucking get some play. It didn't really matter if it was good or not.
It's my favorite kind of way to turn right there.
Dude, that's where you get videos like the one for the safety dance.
Oh.
Have you seen the video for the safety dance?
Maybe I don't
They're
know.
like kind of like jumping around in
a
England.
field?
Yeah, in England.
And there's a
Oh.
little person dressed up as a jester, just like,
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
Doesn't
it's-
make any sense.
no, it's just really fucking weird. But they showed it all the fucking time because they didn't really have anything else. So, but then after they really started taking off with the music videos, that's when they started kind of venturing a little bit into some alternative programming besides just music videos and VJs. It was still all music centered. You had stuff like Headbangers Ball,
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
which
Hell.
really hit home to a huge audience that didn't have any kind of outlet for that kind of music at the time. Unless it was like an indie station on the radio or some shit. They weren't playing that kind of music on like your normal like K-Rock station at the time or anything like that.
That was back like when a DJ could take a chance on a band, you know?
Yeah.
and they could end up being like world famous.
Yeah.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, give them a shot. Why not? Here's, who are they? Pink Floyd.
I always think of, like, when I think of Headbangers Ball, I think of Pantera.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Where you're like, that's where you were going to hear Pantera was
Yeah.
that show.
Or like Henry Rollins and like
Oh,
that kind of
yeah.
shit. And, like,
Oh,
but
yeah.
yeah, those kind of Megadeth, Metallica, all of those kind of bands, they were even featured, like interviewed on the, like I remember specifically seeing Megadeth being interviewed on there, and Dave Mustaine's just like kind of out of it the whole time. But I mean, he's just.
I always liked that. Like back in those days on MTV, when they would interview bands, they would talk shit about each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Like a
I
lot.
was like, I like that, man.
I was gonna
That's
say,
awesome.
did Dave Mustaine spend like almost the entire interview shitting on Metallica?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. 'Cause
he
actually, I don't
still-
remember
He
specifically.
still does that.
Yeah. He's
It's like,
pretty bitter.
Dude, you're 60. Get over it, man.
And you had a pretty successful career of your
Sold
own.
millions of records.
Rust in peace, dog.
The people who really like metal know that you're the better musician.
Yeah, man.
on, man.
Give it up, dude. God.
So, like I said, that was a big one that really hit to a niche market that was not getting that kind of exposure. So it created more fans of that market because you were seeing kids like, wait a second, I like this. This is angry or this is intense or this is I feel this right now. That they never would have fucking gotten that sitting in the middle of Iowa, you know?
Yeah.
So that shit like that. Another one was Yo MTV Raps.
That was fucking
Oh,
banger.
Right, with Dr. Dre and Ed Love.
Ed Love, man. Ed Lover and Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Which they were awesome,
Yeah,
man.
and a different, for all you kids that even know who any Dr. Dre's are, a different Dr. Dre.
Yeah. So they
Oh, it's not the Dr. Dre?
No, it's
no,
a
no,
different-
no.
No, okay.
He was a
big dude.
big
yeah.
dude. And
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
and Dr. Dre was kind of big at
Yeah.
but I mean, he's kind of like fucking
buff.
Yeah,
he's-
like
he got
stacked now.
buff.
Steroids
man,
and
yeah.
shit. Him and Timbaland started taking steroids and now they're all
And Dave
beefy.
Chappelle
Yeah.
for some reason,
What
which
the
is
fuck?
weird.
Yo MTV Raps, the first host was Fab Five Freddy.
Oh
And
shit!
I
yeah.
will never forget, they did like a special when they canceled it finally, where Fab Five Freddy walked around like Manhattan with the Beastie Boys when they were super young, and it was just them. Go everywhere they went, they were causing problems. People are like, "Get out of here!" And they're like, "Oh, what the fuck's this guy's deal?"
What? It's just me, Mike D.
Exactly. Them like drinking beer and stuff.
Like, yes, Mr. D, we know who you are.
What are you gonna do? You gonna buy something? You know? They're like, "Get out of here."
So another thing that you need to keep in mind too is that as much as they were successful, there are certain artists that can absolutely attribute their success directly to MTV. And it's people that include such names as Michael Jackson, Madonna, Prince is another big one. That, I mean, and I'm not saying they owe their career to MTV, but I wouldn't have heard Prince if there wasn't an MTV. I would not have heard Madonna if there was an MTV. Not saying I wanted to, but
life is a mystery.
You know what I realized today watching that People Puzzler?
Oh God, yeah,
is that Madonna has 2 songs that start with like a. Like a Prayer and Like a Virgin.
Whoa.
Because somebody guessed Like a Prayer and they were like, I was like, wait, a second. Oh, shit, there's another one.
That reminds me when I used to play in the band, we were so not creative. Like, all of our songs were something of the something. And we were like, dude, we got to stop doing that.
Treat it like Mad Libs or something.
Pretty much. But just like with metal words, so it was like, Rising of the Phoenix. No. Ashes. Okay, yes, let's do that one.
Demon, Ashes. Ashes.
Children of
Bodom.
Anger?
Corn.
No. Greed. Yes.
Children of Greed is a great name for a fucking.
Dude, that would be an awesome name for a band.
That's a great song name or band name.
It was a banger of a song back then. So,
dude, you could treat that like Bad Company.
Bad Company with Bad Company off of
the
Bad
album.
Company.
Exactly. Here's Children of Greed with Children of Greed off of Children of Greed.
Coming to you live from Children of Greed.
So, towards the end of the 80s, like I said, they started introducing some of their alternative programming, but there was still a huge focus on music, including the alternative programming. Early 90s is when things started to shift, with a little show that you guys might know called The Real World.
Yeah, dude. The Real World.
The Real World came out in 1992.
Dang,
okay.
And it was one of the very first successful reality shows, period. Not even just on MTV, period.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it was not the beast that it is now, and it wasn't as orchestrated as it is now.
Would you say, though, not to interrupt, but would
Please
you
interrupt.
say, I think we are now on the absolute downswing of the Real World. I remember knowing, it's like Real World San Diego, Real World Seattle, Real World LA, and I knew what was coming up next, and I watched the show. But I haven't watched the Real World in decades.
I couldn't tell you.
You know, I don't know the last time I did regularly watch it. And so it's like it went from like they had jobs. One guy on the show, the first show, was a cop.
Yeah.
She was a fucking police officer.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so then you go from that and like actual like, was it 7 strangers living in a house together?
Yeah.
And then you get to this like where they're just feeding them alcohol. You know what I mean? Like, please fight or kiss or anything.
Yeah,
whatever
do
you want to do. Just do it. It's like how far we have fallen. Because I always thought the show was interesting.
Towards the beginning, yeah, it was. Because it was, I mean, like I said, less put together. It was, hey, let's just put them in a room and film, and we'll just include all the interesting shit. So, I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of footage of them fucking sitting around, picking their noses, watching TV, you know, doing nothing.
Sorting through that B-roll.
Right, that'd be a nightmare. But at the same time, like, all the drama it didn't feel forced.
Yeah.
It felt a lot more real. Which, I mean, I'm sure that it wasn't necessarily real, but it felt a lot more authentic than...
I think... what was more authentic were the people.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know how you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now, you know what you're supposed to do. When you get on the Real World, you know, I'm supposed to get drunk, and I'm supposed to flip out, and I'm
Yeah.
supposed to have fun and not give a fuck.
I'm the crazy one.
And they're like, wait, we got 7 crazy
Yeah.
ones. All right.
Like, I'm the alcoholic. I'm the alcoholic. I'm the alcoholic. I'm the heroin addict. Fuck.
How'd he slip through? We keep him.
Now, the other thing, too, that it's like they have to have a brand for themselves. So it's like back in the first couple of seasons of the show, it was just people who were like, hey, they're going to pay me to go live in a house for a month or whatever it was, couple of months. Yeah, right? It'll be on TV. Awesome. But now it's like, I'm going to go on there and I'm going to start my makeup brand, or I'm going to go on there and, like show how good of a fucking windsurf teacher I am, or whatever the fuck it is. It's like everybody has very deliberate motives for being on there. Whereas the first couple seasons, it was like, they're going to pay me and I get to be on TV? Sure, why not?
The fucking guy was Puck. Remember Puck?
Puck
Yeah, I
was
kinda
literally the
remember Puck, yeah.
only one I remember his name specifically. I
Puck.
remember the faces and situations and shit. Puck is the only one I remember his name and everything.
He was gross, and then and he was like the first one who had like a name outside of the show, like where he kept it going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he would go on other shows, like, oh, it's Puck from the Real World, and you're like, oh Jesus. What I mean, how far can you go, like blowing snot rockets? Like that,
Yeah.
you can't go that
Pretty
far.
far, it turns
I
out.
guess this guy. I'm gonna look him up, man, because I've not seen or heard from Puck in a long time.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm afraid that you could probably find out that he's no longer with us.
He's probably dead. Yeah, no shit.
But I honestly don't know. But that
Yeah.
is funny that you mentioned that, because his is the only name I remember. I mean, I'm sure there was like a David and a Steve and a Chrissy and whatever, but Puck is the one that I fucking remember. Puck.
Yeah,
That's funny because I completely had forgotten about Puck until you just said Puck. I was like, oh, yeah.
Man, he was gross.
I want to say there was somebody named Daniel, too, and that's the reason I remember it is because when I was little, I was like, oh, look, it's me. But
It's me. He has my name. And everybody's like, yeah.
Hey, you know what? I did that when I saw Twister.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
hey.
He's Dusty.
You know what? Fuck
And
you,
everybody's
man.
like, yeah, here's Dusty.
Yeah, he's only the coolest character in the
I'd say
movie.
He's only
easily the
freaking
best character.
dumb
yeah.
and weird and creepy. That's what I thought.
Hello? That's our brand.
Dude, ding, ding, ding.
Dumb, weird, creepy, but also funny. That's our brand.
Hey, put him
our
on the
little
show.
bread and butter.
Put him on the show.
I'm just going to replace you guys with a couple of Dusties.
All right.
Hey, Dusty. Hi, Dusty.
Welcome to the Suck Zone. That's what you would have to call
The
that
suck
podcast.
zone would, oh my God. Oh
The
my
suck
dude,
zone
that's
with
a
Dusty,
great
Dusty, and Dusty.
idea.
And it works on so many levels,
Oh, my
too.
God.
Because it would definitely suck.
Oh my God.
So the other thing, too, about the real world that I wanted, my own little personal thing, is that's where I learned about 2 different diseases that I didn't really know about before. The first one was AIDS.
Yeah.
And I want to say it was David.
It was David or Daniel.
Yeah, it was a D word, a guy on there in the first, maybe the first season, if not the first couple of
It was
seasons.
Pedro.
Pedro. That's what it was. Yes.
Pedro.
But
Yeah.
that's where I learned about AIDS, because I was very young when that show was. I mean, I was like 9 when the show came out. That's also on. I remember specifically it was Real World Seattle. I learned about Lyme disease.
Yeah.
Oh
For
my
the guy that
God.
got smacked right in the fucking head.
Right.
Oh my God. That one was Buck, dude. And
Was that Buck?
that one, no. It was just a crazy.
Or no, I think
that episode was just nuts.
And I think Puck was San Francisco.
Puck was San Fran.
Yeah, okay.
So also Seattle, one of the castmates, she is now like a pretty good actress, like Jennifer Cho or Jessica Cho. I can't remember one of the two.
We'll have to
But
look into it.
she like on the show, she did nothing. Every season,
Just like hanging out in the corner.
there's one or two that they're like,
Like they have to prod him in the interview room. They're like, I don't know, I was just hanging out.
I don't know. They're like,
Up in my room.
thank God you're pretty, because you have no personality whatsoever. God damn.
Like, can you tell a joke or tap dance or something? Shit.
Say something inappropriate.
Other shows around that time that started to kind of shift their ideas, Beavis and Butthead.
Oh,
But again, Beavis and Butthead still had music in it. I mean, they watched music videos. Now they were very random, obscure music videos, unless it was like Gwar, and it's like fuck yes.
It was my favorite when they would see when they liked.
Yes. But then they would watch like Blind Melon and be like, oh, what is this guy doing in the bee suit? Daria was another one that really, yeah. That was a real big shift because that was, I wouldn't necessarily say their first kind of female-centric show, but one of their first female-centric shows, and it took way the fuck off.
Yeah, that shit was funny.
Dude,
man.
Daria's awesome. And it's still you could still find merch and shit for it now.
Yeah.
I would think maybe I'm going to get murdered for saying this, but I think it has probably I think I like it better than Beavis and Butthead. Like on a rewatchability now type scale.
I would say because Beavis and Butthead is smarter than it looks. It's still pretty dumb, but it's a lot smarter than you think just at first glance. But Daria is a lot more intelligent humor.
Yeah.
And it's not shit you have to think about or anything like that, but it's just it doesn't hit on that same kind of childish type giddy. It's more of like a teenage or above humor. So as an older person, then going back and watching it, it's a lot easier to watch a couple episodes of Daria than it is Beavis and Butthead.
For sure.
Because I tried to do that and I stopped. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to ruin that memory.
No, let it
Don't
be.
tarnish it.
Yeah, let it stay there.
Yeah.
Another big shift happened in the later 90s. Again, they're starting to kind of broaden their programming. One of the other things, too, is they're starting to get into is movies.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys, I know you know it. Don't give it away. Do you know what the first MTV movie ever was?
Chairman of the board.
Joe's Apartment.
Welcome to Joe's Apartment.
Man.
Joe's Apartment was the first MTV Productions movie. And I'm sorry, I fucking love that movie. It's so bad, but it's so funny to me too.
I hate cockroaches, man.
I do too, but if I don't actually have to touch them or they're not in my house, I'm fine. But yeah, that's where they started shifting into, and that was because one thing I forgot to mention, and I don't have the exact year. I don't give a shit. They were eventually purchased by Viacom, which is the same company that has like Paramount and stuff like that. So it was an MTV production. I mean, really, it was kind of a Paramount movie that they just put the MTV name on. But that changed. They started kind of going off in their own direction. It was still under like the Paramount kind of label or house, whatever you want to call it. But MTV Films was definitely separate from anything that Paramount was doing. Another big shift was at the end of the 90s, 1998 to be specific, a little TV show called TRL.
Oh, man.
Yeah, little is a way to describe that. Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, it was a weekday, but a daily top 10 countdown. I mean, kind of like Casey Kasem type shit, only it was a lot more pop-centric involved, and they also included a bunch of like celebrity interviews and like people promoting movies, and they would bring on musical guests and shit like that to like do this. They like, hey, it was number 3, but she's here to do it live, and it's like I'd rather watch the video, but whatever. So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on Carson Daly and TRL?
Dude, I fucking loved TRL. I love Carson Daly.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memories. Well, I've got 2 memories that stick out. One of them was Sarah and I were like watching it one day, and she was just anticipating the new Backstreet Boys album. And I remember it was like when I Want It That Way debuted. That fucking shit, she taped it, and she made me rewatch it with her, and it was pretty fucking epic, I'm not going to lie, at the time.
Did you guys do that on the regular? Did you tape music videos?
Not really, no.
I did. I absolutely did. Because the best time to do it was, and I mean, I still have this problem to this day. I'm a bit of an insomniac. But I would stay up until like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would just record like different videos. I remember a tape specifically I had that had 3 songs on it in a row. It started off with Sex and Candy by Marcy Playground. Then it was Fastball the Way. And then it was Jimmy's Chicken Shack, What Do I Do?
Yeah, that's a great song.
They
man.
are all
It's a
great songs.
song.
But so that's one thing. Like I know a lot of people recorded off of the radio, like, trying to get songs or whatever. I recorded music videos onto blank tapes. So that's one of the things that I did.
Yeah.
Ahead of your time right there.
Yeah, a little bit.
I love TRL. I watched it before school, and I always liked it because they included hip hop, and they would do rock stuff. Like I remember,
rock stuff would sneak in every once in a while, but it definitely wasn't the main focus. But that was because that's what the people calling in and voting for
sure
were
for
not
sure.
focused on it.
But I remember like when Korn was like the biggest band in the world. Issues, like they had that. Like the fans could, like it was a fan submitted album art. Like who?
Oh,
it was
yeah,
Issues.
I remember that.
It was a guy from MTV that won as that little doll with the fucking thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that
I know
that was MTV, nice. And it was like it was okay to like and it was funny because the crowd would be like. Yay! Falling away from me, they're like, okay.
Falling away.
Oh God! I remember that. I remember when Issues came out. It was like a big deal. I remember Rage when their Prophets of Rage came out. And Eminem. Eminem was
one that I remember seeing there.
Have you guys seen the clip of because it's one of my favorite TRL things I've seen. And it's one of the Gallagher brothers from Oasis. I can't remember if it was Liam or Noel, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
He was on TRL, and he was just, I think he was drunk or something. I mean, obviously, always. But he just couldn't even pretend he liked being there or anything like that. And then Eminem came on, and he was making fucking fun of him. And it was good. You get Eminem doing a British accent, and it's awesome.
Because they were like, hey, can you put your cigarette out?
Yeah.
You can't smoke in here.
This is New York City.
What are you doing? This is not Liverpool.
One of my memories of Carson Daly specifically is, did you guys ever watch My Name is Earl?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, you need to watch that show. Fucking hilarious, and one of my favorite comedies. But he gets his whole mantra off of Carson Daly. That's literally in the first episode. He's watching the Carson Daly show, not TRL, but you remember when he had a talk show?
I remember that, yeah.
He was like somebody, I don't remember, I want to say it was like fucking Dwight Yoakam or something like that. It was some country guy is like asking him, he's like, I want to know more about Carson Daly. I want to know more about, he's like, you're good looking, you're all this stuff. And Carson just goes, well, I believe in karma. You do good things and good things happen to you. And he takes that premise right there, and that's literally what the whole fucking show is based off of, is karma. But he always talks about how he learned it from Carson Daly, and I just thought that shit was fucking hilarious.
Of all places.
I'm going to sit between Carson Daly and Fred Durst.
And here I'm arguing over who she gave hit to first. And there's a later episode where it's the girl who's married to Ben Stiller. She was on Hey Dude. Was Christine Taylor? Is that her name?
Yes.
She plays like a professor and she's talking to him and she's like, oh, karma. And he goes like, oh, you watch Carson Daly too?
No.
So yeah, that's my big Carson Daly thing. But yeah, it launched stars like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Eminem. It put a lot of older hip hop stars that like Dr. Dre, Snoop in front of young teenagers that probably wouldn't have seen them otherwise. It was a huge cultural icon.
It was.
For the time. I mean, it dwindled. A lot of people say that it really kind of went downhill when Carson Daly left. I honestly think it was before that.
Yeah, probably.
Dude, and they stopped showing the whole video. That
kind of
got on my nerves.
That
a
was
little bit.
bullshit.
Yeah.
I'll say one video.
Just a hint of things to come.
One video that really frickin' really like benefited from TRL. It's underrated. Is the Crossroads Bone Thugs and Harmony? They played that motherfucker every day.
I mean,
and I'm like, this video
can
first
you
of all
blame
is
him?
amazing.
Yeah.
Uncle fuck JoJo.
Uncle Charles is where it's at, man.
Oh my God! It like that video. I think they had it where it was like in the Hall of Fame. They're like, okay, we're not going to play it anymore because we've been playing it for 600 weeks straight.
Oh yeah, because they did have like if a video was on the chart or on the list for a certain amount of time, they like had a Hall of Fame thing. You're right. I forgot about that. But I mean, honestly, I thought That was one thing for sure, is when they started cutting into the songs to have more of an interview or more of a game that they were like playing with somebody on the phone or whatever. And it started to focus less on the music. And yes, you're right. It is definitely a sign of things to come, because this is when the huge shift starts to happen. The one that inevitably led to where we're at today. And that is much less focus on music, much more focus on reality TV in particular. Yeah, they had some other shows, but I mean, even their other shows like Pimp My Ride, that's a fucking reality show.
Yeah.
They have a fucking contestant. I mean, it's kind of like a game show too, but they don't have to win anything. They just get a shitty car out of it.
Because didn't they like never actually fix the car? They just added a bunch of cool shit. But if it had like a suspension problem, they wouldn't even.
If you look on Reddit, there's plenty of people that are like, I was on Pit My Ride and it sucked.
It was the worst thing
It was
ever.
the worst thing ever that happened in my car.
Like, yeah, they put a hot tub in the back of my pickup, but the muffler still fell off. So you start seeing, like I said, a shift. It was like in the kind of mid-2000s. It was a drastic reduction in music video programming. Barely no music videos at all. Some shows still kind of centered around music. MTV News was kind of dying off, and even that was starting to get more into like the what's the fucking the paparazzi show.
Oh, like Soup or what? Talk Soup or some shit?
Well, yeah, kind of. But I mean, like where they all sit around in a room. They're like, I got a shot of Jessica Alba pinching her back.
TMZ.
Yes, it started to turn more into like a TMZ. Like oh, Britney watch, and she shaved her head. So, I mean, even that started to get less away from music and more towards personalities.
When the thing will go... It was like MTV News. Oh.
Dude, back in the day, that meant something.
Yeah.
Because it was like, we've just received a report that Tupac Shakur is dead.
Yeah,
and you're like, what the fuck?
For sure.
like MTV News used to be a big deal. Or it's like, we're behind the scenes at Woodstock 99.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you haven't listened, we got a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
So anyway, you start seeing... Like I said, even MTV News is getting away from music. Then you start seeing shows like Laguna Beach, The Hills.
Yeah.
David.
Love them. Love them.
Jersey Shore.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Speaking of like coming onto the show to make a fucking brand for yourself.
Oof.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The situation.
I do like what South Park did to Snooki. That was pretty funny. Like turned into like a rat golem type thing.
I love Whitney Cummings was on the what roast? Donald Trump, I think, where he was on the situation was up there and he bombed. And everybody booed him, and it was like super, super creepy. And she went up there, and she's like, "Yeah, the situation. I want to talk about this situation." She got his ass.
Oh,
They're
nice.
still going. They're doing a reunion.
What?
Yeah, I've been seeing a commercial.
Oh.
I've been seeing commercials for it.
I have heard about
They're
that.
all like
Come
40-something
on.
now. Which
Yeah.
I mean,
But it's like, what are you doing?
And
Go
still
home.
as fake tan as ever.
I say, like they're not clubbing it up like they did on the original run, man. Like those people are gonna need a
Go home. Your kids have to get a ride from school.
You
You know what I mean? Like, go pick them up.
they're gonna start hawking antacids. You know, like,
We got to go get that early bird special. So that, again, that's where you start to see the big shift and more of their kind of identity crisis. Because the thing is that something that some people understand, but not everyone understands, the way that this entity made money strictly from advertising. That's how they make all of their money, is from advertising. And for the longest time, MTV was like the only profitable station because it was making money fucking hand over fist when it came to these shows. That's where it really, because during the videos, yeah, they were doing okay and they were making some good money. But when they started doing shows like Beavis and Butthead and Liquid Television and Daria and all that shit and Real World, that's when people started watching longer. Mm-hmm. So, because for a video, if you think about it, let's say they play a video that you fucking love. You're going to sit there and watch it, right? And
every time.
And then the next video is something that you absolutely hate. Are you going to sit there and watch the entire video just to see what's on next?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No.
And so one of the things that they couldn't tap into necessarily when they were doing videos is something that everybody taps into now, and that's that attention spans are super fucking short. That's why you see TikToks that are 15 seconds long and YouTube shorts that are 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
And everything is like bright and flashy and in your face. And make sure to like and subscribe, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm going to put in like right there. But so they couldn't really do that well with advertising because people weren't really watching for all that long. I mean, they would watch like Headbangers Ball, but then as soon as Headbangers Ball was over, they're out.
Punching out, baby.
So they started making a lot more money with the reality television because a lot of people were fucking watching it. It was succeeding. So that's where they shifted all of their focus. And I mean all of their focus. Very, very little music. The music was incorporated into the reality show. Mm-hmm. So that's when you started seeing like credits for a song during Laguna Beach.
Yeah, that's right.
Or like on Jersey Shore, like when a song would start playing, down in the bottom, it would list who the artist was and shit. Because that's
still music.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of their way of being like, we're still hip. No, you're not.
And not to cut you off, you reminded me of something. Probably led into them making these changes was like they had a cool thing going in the 90s, like where they were like organically fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But then I guess corporate got involved or something, but there's a documentary that came out in 2001 called Merchants of Cool. And it's basically about how like MTV was like sending scouts out to like different areas where they'd go find trend-setting teenagers. And they weren't really trend-setting teenagers. They were like finding just weird kids.
Oh, no.
But they were trying to figure out, like, they were like, hey, guys, what's cool? What do you want to see, you know?
Hey, fellow teenagers.
And I think that's part of, like, just, like, you had something cool, but then when you started chasing the audience and the money and trying to find new ones, I think that's where they lost their way.
That's cringe.
Yeah.
Man, that's cringe.
It's like they come across a kid who's like a yo-yo champion.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's the next big thing right there. No.
One of the best fucking things in that documentary, though, is they show Limp Bizkit playing Break Stuff at Woodstock, and then it just immediately cuts to people breaking shit.
I mean, that's kind of what they did at Woodstock.
I'll tell you what, we haven't touched on the music awards and the movie awards. Those used to be a big fucking deal.
Yeah, like, okay, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I did forget that because that was, again, kind of started in the mid to a little bit later 90s, but mostly in the mid-90s. But yeah, an MTV Music Video Award
was big.
That meant something.
Oh, yeah.
That meant that you were going to be successful in whatever kind of genre of music that you were performing. If you were MTV Music Award winner, it was damn near guaranteed.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like they give 8 to the same fucking person.
Yeah.
And it's like, who fucking cares?
I tried to watch, like, a couple of years ago, we watched one, and I was like, this is so bad, man. What the fuck is this?
I watched clips of like the drama.
Yeah.
Like who the fuck called out Miley Cyrus?
Okay, Nicki Minaj.
Yes.
And that was
Yes.
years ago.
Yeah, and like
You know
I
what
would
mean?
watch
Like,
that clip, but I wouldn't watch the whole fucking show.
And wait, who was it that Jim Carrey fucking... Somebody was being creepy with Cameron Diaz or something? I couldn't remember who it was.
Oh, shit.
But they tried to kiss her like right up at the podium. And then Jim Carrey fucking did it right back to the guy.
Yeah, fuck, who was it?
That's right.
Who was that?
So,
I'll look it up.
Look that
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
By
because
the
I
way,
do remember that now.
Jim Carrey at these the movie awards, just wonderful.
Dude, the day that he showed up kind of looking like Jim Morrison with like the open shirt, long beard, long hair. That's where, like, anytime that you hear me or David go, would it kill you to play some Fog Hat? That's where that comes from.
So the next year, he came up as a presenter and they played Fog Hat.
That's awesome.
And then that one year he won and he just ran up and down the aisles like giving
everywhere.
Like, that's awesome.
So it was Cameron Diaz and it was Chris Isaac.
Yes, I do remember that now. Fuck,
What a
I mean,
pig.
he had one good song. And his show was okay.
What a wicked
That song is a banger, though.
Yeah. Honestly, you know who does a really good version of it that you might be surprised if you haven't heard? Tenacious D.
Ooh.
They do a damn good version. Like,
Okay.
Jack Black sings the shit
He's
out of that.
got a great voice.
I want to hear him sing on so many songs. Like I have fantasized about it before.
You can use AI to do that.
Oh yeah,
Because like they do like Cartman singing Evanescence. I've heard that one a lot, which is kind of
All
funny.
right.
But yeah, you can absolutely do that. But check out the Tenacious D cover of Wicked Games. It has no right to be that good.
I'm writing that shit down.
So then, like I was saying, though, the way that they were making all of their money and being so successful is from these advertisers advertising specifically on reality shows because they were getting a lot of views. That's when they really fucking ramped it up. That's when you started seeing My Sweet 16, Teenage Parent or whatever, Teenage Mom.
Teen Mom.
Teen Mom. Fucking, what was the one about the kids in Virginia?
That wasn't like True Life, or was it?
No. It was like
True Life was.
It was like
fucking
Jersey
awesome.
Shore, but it was like took place in West Virginia.
Oh,
or some
God.
shit.
Oh, okay. So they had Florida-Bama Shore. Where
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
like,
okay. Yeah, that's okay.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know why I was thinking West Virginia. But
Same thing. I
I
mean,
mean,
really,
basically,
you know.
it's a little warmer down
I
there.
mean, talk about a bootleg version of the Jersey Shore,
Right.
which is like sad to say. God,
Catfish was another one.
Oh.
That now I will admit, I got into Catfish.
everybody
it's
likes
great.
Catfish.
It's so fucking
The
good.
one thing that I fucking hated about Catfish is something that you could say about literally any MTV show. The fucking commercial breaks.
Oh Jesus, dude.
But that's why they made so much money, is because they would have 37 minutes of a show in an hour time slot, and the rest of the time was filled with fucking commercials.
Yeah.
And I'm not even exaggerating. At one point, I timed because I was like, there's no fucking way that this is a normal commercial break. And each commercial break during one episode of Catfish was a minimum of 5.5 minutes long.
Good Lord.
Minimum. Some of them were a little bit longer. But so that's why they were so successful, is because they could fit in 18 fucking advertisers into one show that got multiple commercials each show.
And who cares about the short attention span because you got the advertisers already.
Yeah,
so.
no
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
No shit.
Plus, you throw some juicy, fucking Spencer cheated on this girl or whatever, and like, oh, well, I gotta stick around and wait. Now, I am that asshole that was like, oh, I wonder if it really is the girl in the picture, and it never
was.
I think one time, and even the guy was like, holy shit,
Really?
Like, it's really you. Like,
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Have you seen the actual Catfish documentary?
no,
No,
the
I
one where
haven't seen that.
the show, because
The original
it
one?
was about him, right?
Yeah.
he was the
got
one that got
catfished.
catfished.
Yeah,
It was
and-
weird, though. I read the plot. You probably
Dude,
can tell,
it is fucking awesome.
Spill, dude.
Because it's so insane. This person, like the fact that they like Catfish now, like when the Catfish has like 5 or 6 different accounts, that was this person that did it to Neve on a whole nother level. And the term catfish was born from at the very end. The person that catfished Neve, her husband, is like back in the day, he told this story, back in the day when they had I can't remember what kind of fish it was, but it was a fish, and they would catch them and they would barrel them and send them to other countries. But when they would get there, they'd be mushy because the fish would just sit in the barrel. So what they would do is they would put a catfish in the barrel to keep all the other fish moving around
like
and
stirring
stuff.
it up.
So he goes, that's what I think my wife is because he had no idea. He had no idea his wife was doing this.
That's right.
No clue.
Wow.
So he was like, that's what I think she is someone that just keeps people kind of moving around. He had no clue how like dead on he hit it.
I honestly had no idea where
Yeah.
that phrase. I mean, I knew that it was from that documentary, and then in turn the show, and then just became kind of the vernacular.
It is.
But I had no idea that that's the that makes so much sense
Isn't that
too.
crazy?
I hope he's getting a royalty for that.
Yeah. No, they ain't got to
he's
tell
not.
him shit. They ain't tell him shit.
But just somebody who stirs some shit up. I like that. I like that. That's a
Keeps
good way to
people
put it.
moving.
Yeah. So the declining influence, it was mainly up to a couple of things. One is the fact that they shifted to reality programming, and it's not nearly as popular as it once was. It's just not, and thank fucking God, because I'm tired of it. I really am. But not only that, but people actually started accessing their music in completely different ways that they did not even attempt to shift for at all. When it came to the digital landscape of music, they had nothing. They have their own YouTube channel. It barely has any fucking
Yeah,
subscribers.
why would we go there?
Yeah.
So the fact that like people could get music from a fucking a Zune, or like your iPhone or something like that, or you could watch a video on YouTube or get it from Spotify or whatever. All of these different options started opening up that MTV just had no fucking answer for, and they didn't even attempt. Which that's kind of they're seen as kind of like a tragic story of a business model that just absolutely does not evolve at all. They did, but then as soon as they found a formula that was at a time successful, it just became stagnant from there and just stayed on what it is now.
A zombie channel.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this term?
Uh-uh.
So zombie channels are just exist. And they play a lot of the same stuff all day long.
Like True TV.
Like True TV.
Okay.
People would consider like
Lifetime.
Especially if it's like, especially when they don't show original programming, which kind of puts MTV in a different light, but still, like, ridiculousness. That's all they fucking play.
And it's just reaction videos.
Yeah.
That's all ridiculousness is.
Yeah.
All day.
At least with Tosh.0, he would add stuff to
Yeah.
it. With ridiculousness, it's like, oh, he fell down.
And say Daniel Tosh is actually a really talented comedian. So
Yeah. It's funny how, like, ridiculousness, though, like, kind of ushered in the idea of, like, a short, or like a reel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now that's really, like, you just put on ridiculousness and you don't even watch it. You're not even actively watching it. You just kind of look over and go, oh, and then you move on. And then you look back 20 minutes later and you're like, ow, wow, that's crazy.
Oh, look at that. Ow, my balls.
That's it. Yeah. And then and then you don't even know what episode you're watching, if it's the same one or not.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know.
The only time you can tell is when they shift back to the panel and you're like, oh, yeah, she wasn't there before.
Yeah.
So from my conclusion, the way I kind of wrote this out is MTV rose rapidly in the 1980s and 90s by reshaping how music was consumed and how youth culture was defined. However, by shifting focus to reality TV and abandoning music content while facing growing competition from digital platforms, it lost its original audience and cultural clout. It's so fucking sad. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but on the logo of MTV, underneath, it used to say music television.
Oh.
They took it away because they can't rightfully claim that anymore. Yeah. So it's a story that's often been cited as kind of a cautionary tale and about media evolution and just brand identity in general. They were the defining pop culture center for 2 decades.
Easy.
Yeah.
And pretty much all because they shifted away from what wasn't hugely successful, but obviously successful, to make more money. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's really what it all boils down to, is like you said earlier about like corporate getting involved.
Yeah.
It's like they were like, you know what? We can make more money if we show 8 episodes of fucking Jersey Shore instead of music videos.
That's what it was. They realized their demographic was like all these young kids with like disposable income, And so they're like, okay, we got to start selling shit to these fucking kids now.
Yeah.
And so that's basically what they did. And
it's weird when you do watch, like, if you pay attention to the commercials, it's heavy hitters. Like, it's like no one, it's almost like the advertisers are like, we don't care they're not relevant.
Yeah.
Because the channel's going to stay on, right? Some kid's going to pop it on for catfish or ridiculousness, and it's just going to play.
Yeah.
And no one is paying attention. No. But they might see a commercial, like a makeup commercial, and go, oh, that's nice, and go buy it.
That's actually a really good point.
Crazy.
You don't ever see like the fucking ambulance chasing lawyers.
Hell no.
With commercials on
You
MTV.
can't get on there. You if you're like that, you can't get on there. JG Wentworth couldn't fucking get on there.
Yeah.
It's like all the big time makeup people, the big ones.
L'Oreal,
dude,
shit.
like the real deal. You watch
That was
it.
literally the only one I could think of
Yeah,
off the top of my head.
but it's like exactly that. You watch it and you're like, it's all heavy hitters, man.
dude, bonus points if they make you not feel pretty enough too.
So, what are your guys' kind of final thoughts on how do you feel about MTV today?
I think you nailed it pretty hardcore. Just like they they got cool, and then they were like, man, let's keep growing, but let's, instead of like looking ahead to the future, because like if you think if they wanted to keep their identity and keep it like music oriented the way they did, you wouldn't have had Napster like in the form that it was. You wouldn't have had iTunes in the form that it is, and you wouldn't have YouTube Vivo, like all that stuff.
Yeah,
if
that's a good
MTV
point.
was like really playing their cards right and doing research and wanted to keep that as their like identity, they probably would have had a bigger hand in all that stuff. But
dude, honestly, there would probably
Yeah.
be an MTV streaming app
Yeah.
on. I mean, that's not Paramount Plus.
yeah,
I mean,
have you guys ever seen like those Vivo music channels?
yeah, a little bit.
Because we were staying at a hotel once, and they had a bunch of them. They had like 80s, 90s, and like we just threw that. It felt like it was like the only time I've like put something on that felt like watching old MTV.
Nice.
Because it was just music video after music video, and it was great.
I feel like you missed a golden opportunity to describe the non-climb and fall of VH1.
My next episode, the plateau of VH1.
The hanging around
Behind
of VH1.
the plateau.
Did you know if you clean up? What were you gonna say before?
Then you will become the vacuum cleaner.
What? Sorry.
You got to wait a whole episode for that punchline.
Man, you know what you don't have to wait for, though? Going to YouTube and subscribing and liking and comment, even if it's negative on our videos. I want you to say something shitty so that algorithm goes,
That, yes.
and then it goes like a vacuum. I don't know.